टाइम इन द एज ऑफ डिस्ट्रैक्शन। इस पे डॉक्टर लतिका मल्होत्रा मैम, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर, इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एंड मैनेजमेंट, न्यू दिल्ली में कार्यरत हैं। मैम के द्वारा आज का व्याख्यान, महत्वपूर्ण व्याख्यान हम सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स के समक्ष दिया जाएगा। सर, मैम अभी तक कनेक्ट नहीं हो पाई है क्या?
आए थे, ज्वाइन होके फिर डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए होंगे। हम वेट करेंगे, अब आए बराबर उनका शुरू करें।
सर, मैम नहीं जुड़ पाई हैं लग रहा है सर।
जुड़े थे अभी मैडम थोड़ी देर पहले।
अच्छा अच्छा, ओके ओके सर। सर वेट कर लेते हैं मैम का।
जुड़ने के बाद स्वागत करेंगे, फिर शुरू करेंगे। मेरे पास उनका कांटेक्ट नंबर नहीं है, मैं कांटेक्ट करता था। क्या करेंगे आप? अगर SMS कर देता लिंक्डइन पे।
सर तो वो कनेक्ट दोबारा नहीं हो पाएंगे?
मैं SMS कर देता हूँ उनको।
गुड इवनिंग मैम।
गुड इवनिंग, हेलो
मैम, मैं डॉक्टर प्रीति कुमारी, आपका प्रिंसिपल सर और सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स की तरफ से आपका आज के इंटरनेशनल वेबिनार सीरीज के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत हार्दिक स्वागत है। आप अपना लेक्चर स्टार्ट कर सकती हैं।
थैंक यू डॉक्टर प्रीति। कैन आई शेयर माय स्लाइड्स?
नो मैम, तो दिख नहीं रहा है।
सॉरी,
मैम अभी आपका स्लाइड शो नहीं हो रहा है।
अच्छा मैं करती हूँ।
यस यस
अभी मैम शेयर हो रहा है मेरा स्लाइड्स?
यस मैम, योर स्लाइड इज
Okay, ma'am. I think I should start, right?
yes ma'am, you can.
Okay, great. So, good evening, first of all, to everyone. And the session today is on mastering time in the age of distraction. So, today we are not just talking about time management. We'll talk about survival in the age of, constant distractions around us. Since we all have same 24 hours, yet some people consistently outperform others. So the difference isn't the time; it is about how we manage our time. So let us explore uh, the how everyone manages time. My slides are skipping. Just a second. Ah. So say again, you'll never find time. You have to make it. You must make it. So time is not something that is lying around and waiting for us. Say, for example, a senior manager who is handling multiple projects, he doesn't find time for strategy. They block it deliberately. So we need to shift our mindset. We need to stop searching for time and we need to start creating it. Right. So time management is not about being busy. It is about doing the right things, right task at the right time. For example, replying, we may think that replying to emails all day, it may feel productive, but at the end of the day, it is not your key deliverable. Your actual key deliverable, say, convincing a client, selling a product is pending. So that's poor time management because we are spending time in replying to emails, not actually being productive. So it is not the activity that matters, it is the alignment the with your priorities that matters. What are the characteristics of good time managers? We all have to be good time managers. So every person who is a good time manager has certain clear traits. They first of all they set clear goals, so they know that where they are going. They prioritize their tasks so that they don't treat everything as urgent. They plan, they stay disciplined. So because execution matters, and they evaluate themselves, they learn from their mistakes, they stay flexible because reality rarely follows plans, so they have to make a shift in their plan, so they become flexible. So a project manager or a senior leader takes care of multiple projects, it just keeps adjusting the timeline during a crisis, at the same time not losing the focus. That is what is effective time management in action. Now, how do you diagnose your difficulty? Because it is the first thing that you need to understand. Before improving the time management, we first know where we are wasting the time, where is the problem. So we need to understand it. So many professionals, they say that I do not have time. But when they analyze their whole day or week, they see that the time is leaking through small leaks. Say, meetings, scrollings, interruptions. So this is the step about awareness, keeping a diary, keeping a list where you are wasting your time, so that you fix something. And of course, you cannot fix what you don't measure. So the step is about realizing where you are wasting your time. We all have like 24 hours, right? So we need to think that where the entire time goes on, it doesn't waste. The time does not wait for us to complete our actions, our stories. So time flies, we all know time flies, and we have to catch it. So how do we do it? How do we make ourselves aware? So where do we spend our 24 hours? Let us pause and reflect on our day for a minute. How do we actually spend our day? Let us look at this pie chart carefully, because this is where the reality becomes visible. So at the first glance, see, 24 hours though feels like a lot, but when we break it down, the picture changes dramatically. See, a typical day of a normal person is divided into, say, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, 8 to 9 hours of work, study, 2 to 3 hours in a metro city in commuting, meals, personal care, these kind of activities. And the remaining time, it gets scattered across mobile usage, conversations, small unplanned activities, leisure, these kind of things. So there is no wiggle room. How much of our day is actually under our control? When we think about it, the answer is very little. When we map our day, we realize something important. There is very little free time, which means if we do not plan our priorities, the distractions will plan your day for you, right? So time, it doesn't disappear, it just reallocated to something else without your permission. It gets reallocated to distractions without your permission, right? Now there is this method called RAC method: record, analyze, and change, to track where our day is going, how we spend our day. So the first step is to record. It is basically the truth mirror stage. You need to track how you actually spend your time over a few days, for a week at least. Say, so write down every activity you do in the entire day: study, you use phone, you take breaks, whatever you do. So you need to note down everything, and you need to note down the time you spend on each and every task. Say, I take half an hour or 30 minutes or 20 minutes to eat. I study for 30 minutes. I commute for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, whatever. Right. So you need to note down this time you spend on each and every activity. And you need to be honest about it. This works only if nothing is hidden. To basically uncover where your time really goes, which is often very different from what we assume, this will bring out the clear picture. Okay. Sorry. Second is analyze. Now, once you have recorded, you need to examine your recorded data. Like, you have to seek the pattern. You have to identify the time wasting activities. You have to set aside productive activities and unproductive activities, productive hours of your day and unproductive hours of your day. You need to check if your important tasks are getting sufficient time. So this will bring out your strengths, your weaknesses, your inefficiencies in the entire schedule. You'll get to know where the time is leaking, which activities are taking most time. Now, once you know it, you have analyzed the pattern. Third step comes change, which is the action stage where the actual improvement happens. You need to eliminate the time wasters, or at least reduce the time wasters. You need to reallocate the time to important tasks. You need to create a better or more balanced schedule, right? To make your time usage more effective and goal oriented, you need to eliminate the wasters, distractions, or reduce it. So just to analyze, you need this three step process where the time is going. Now, another important concept, what is procrastination? We need to prevent procrastination. What basically procrastination is? It is not laziness. It is basically avoidance. It is when we do not do something or we delay something that we know we should be doing. It is often, though misunderstood as poor time management, but in reality, it is an emotional response to avoid the discomfort. It's not that we lack time, and that is why we delay the task. We lack the readiness to face the task, right? So that is why we do not do it. We delay the task. So just by understanding this shift, that it is not the time, lack of time, but lack of my readiness, the solution will change from the planning of time to the management of our behavior. That we need to not seek the time or pick the time. We just have to alter our behavior because we are not ready to face the task, right? Now, why do we procrastinate? What are the reasons? We procrastinate when we either find the task too difficult, so we feel overwhelmed, we find it too boring, so we seek certain stimulation, or we find it too unclear, so we feel stuck, we're not clear about it, how to go about it. So we actually get engaged, easily engaged with tasks that are simple, that are interesting or rewarding. So the key to stop procrastinating basically is not forcing the discipline, but designing the task to be more approachable. We do not do it because we find more attractive alternatives like checking our phone. So our brain naturally moves towards comfort. So productivity, though, requires moving toward purpose, and we move toward comfort. So that is why we procrastinate, right? What things distract us? There are numerous distractions. There are multiple activities that pull our attention throughout the day, including our hobbies, family, friends, leisure activities, and none of these are bad. But the problem is uncontrolled access, right? um, um, Say, for example, a quick 5 minute Instagram break, it often turns to into 30 minutes. For teenagers, for Gen Z, it's 2 hours break. So distractions these days are not occasional, they are constant. Our phone keeps giving us notifications, social media, the emails, messages, they all compete for every second of your attention. All these apps basically are designed to capture your attention. All the notifications that you get on your phone, on your laptops are designed to interrupt. So your focus is not no longer natural. It is your competitive advantage. If you can focus, it is your competitive advantage. So earlier the distractions were external to our lives, but today the distractions live in your pocket. Now, how do you prevent procrastination? What are the strategies to prevent procrastination? To overcome procrastination, we need certain structured strategies like taking immediate action, taking small steps. Even small steps matter. Starting small, it lowers your fear. Then there is salami technique, which is breaking the task into smaller parts to reduce the overwhelm. Then doing the difficult work first, because it builds your momentum. So you need to do the difficult task first. You just have to start with just 5 minutes of certain things, and then we'll do something else. But once you give your 5 minutes, you keep on doing it. So that is another technique. Setting the goals, committing towards something, and rewarding yourself. Right, all these are techniques. Rewards, because it creates positive reinforcement. All these techniques make the big tasks feel manageable. Though few of these techniques are quite general and effective for everyone, so irrespective of the age, profession, gender, let us just pick two or three. I have done it. So let us just understand those in a bit more detail. This number one is salami technique. It basically means the slicing big task into tiny pieces, like cutting salami. So it is especially useful for large tasks, complex tasks. So instead of seeing a mountain, you focus on one single step at a time. For example, you have to write a 50-page report or a big research paper. So when you break it into multiple sections, it becomes more workable, manageable. So you see it progressing one page at a time, and then when your progress is visible, it builds your motivation. So then the task feels doable, right? Second technique is making commitment, very effective technique because we perform better when we are accountable. Oh, is it? I'm sorry. I'm not on mute. I'm sorry. I'm not on mute.
You're audible, well.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me just go back to the presentation. Where am I? Okay, making commitments. So when we feel we are accountable, we feel we perform better. So when you tell your team members or your students that you'll give them something, or you'll deliver by Friday or Monday, you are more likely to do it. So when the commitments are external, or when we share our commitment with others, we are more likely to follow through, right? So and this is why, deadlines, the team expectations, making your goals public, they work effectively. So it kind of creates a positive pressure on you. You are more likely to do the task once you have announced it publicly that you will do it. So making your commitments public or sharing it with others, it works. Then rewarding yourself, as in, see, productivity doesn't mean punishment. It If the effort is always associated with stress, it won't motivate you. The motivation will decline for sure. And human behavior is driven by reinforcement. So if it is not, punishment or negative reinforcement, it has to be reward. So if your effort is followed by reward, your brain starts associating the work with satisfaction. So even small rewards can significantly improve your consistency. Rewarding yourself with something after you complete your task, it builds motivation. For example, if you finish a major task, you go on a holiday or take a meaningful break or treat yourself, something like that. So you need to keep rewarding yourself for every good work done. Another powerful tool for time management is this Eisenhower matrix. It is a powerful, prioritization tool. Eisenhower believed what is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important, because we do not know where we are engaging ourselves, where we are giving our time. So we need to see where we are giving our time. So he divided the tasks or activities into four quadrants on the basis of their urgency and importance, as you can see here. Urgent is something that needs immediate action, and important is something that contributes in your goals. Right. So these four quadrants, number one, say urgent and important, wherein, say, for example, you have to submit a report today, or you have to a professional, marketing manager or a sales manager has to handle a client complaint, or a student has to prepare a presentation for tomorrow or an exam tomorrow. The task is important as well as urgent. So it requires immediate action. So this is something wherein one has to work immediately, and it is important at the same time. It is contributing to his career goal, professional goals, or personal goals, right? So, but at the same time, one cannot live in this quadrant all the time. One cannot take this entire pressure of urgency and importance all the times. So it will feel like a constant, firefighting. it should not, one should not feel that much pressure, that much stress all the time. So we come to the next quadrant, which is important but not urgent. So this is the actual zone of productivity. These are the tasks that build, your long-term success, but they actually do not scream for attention. It is like learning a new skill. I'll learn Excel. I'll work on AI tools, or the health and exercise part. We need to work on our health. We need to, be physically active. Uh, or building networking or building relationships. All these are important tasks, very important, contribute to your professional and personal goals, but at the same time, they do not scream for attention. Right. So, but you need to schedule these tasks in your calendar, because highly successful people, they spend most of their time in this quadrant, the something that is important but not urgent. And this is where the entire growth happens, because they focus on something that is very important, very significant for their career. Now comes the third quadrant, which is urgent but not important. So these tasks, they feel urgent. They feel urgent, but they do not truly add value. Like unnecessary meetings or interruptions from your colleagues, or some emails or phone calls, unnecessary phone calls, right? So these things can be either delegated or minimized, because though these tasks create an illusion of productivity, but they just drain your energy and are not actually productive. So you can either delegate these kind of tasks or minimize them. Last quadrant, which is neither urgent nor important, these are purely distractions, like endless media scrolling, or watching random videos, gossiping, time wasting chats, these kind of things. So one either should, eliminate them from your schedule, or strictly limit such tasks. Another area that we should all work on is smart goals. So goals should be smart, specific. A goal should be clear, well defined, like I want to improve my Excel skills. So we need to be very specific. I need to improve my skills. No, I need to improve my Excel skills. Should be measurable. That is, you should be able to track the progress, measure it, when the goal is achieved. Say, I'll complete 3 presentations this week. So this is called a measurable goal. Achievable, say the goal should be realistic, because we all have limited resources, limited time. So in those limited resources and time, our goal should be achievable. For example, if I say I'll master this skill, I'll master this skill in 2 weeks. This is quite not realistic or achievable. But if I say I'll learn a new tool, I'll start learning a new tool in 2 weeks, this seems achievable. Then comes relevant. The goal should align with your broader career objectives. If you're in marketing, learning data analytics is relevant, but learning something, say, a coding language, it may not be that relevant for your career. So it should be relevant also, and time bound. Say every goal should have a deadline. Say I'll complete this project by 30th April. I'll complete this course within 6 months. Something like that, right? Say the last line here says I'll complete 2 certification courses in data analytics within the next 3 months to improve my performance in reporting tasks. This can be considered a smart goal. Now, how do you plan your time? We know our goals and their deadline now, so we can plan strategically. And the planning is the only thing that turns the vision into execution. It bridges the gap between intention, what you intend to do, and your actions. So you make yearly goals, quarterly goals, weekly plans, daily schedules. Yearly goals, they define your direction. Weekly plans, they make you focus, they define your focus, and your daily schedules define the execution. So you should make long-term goals based on yearly plans, like what do you want to achieve this year. Say 2 new skills I'll learn, or 1 new coding software I'll learn, coding language I'll learn. And then we break it into quarterly or monthly goals, like completing one of those certifications this month or this quarter. Then we can further break them into weekly action. Say I'll read one book related to it or something. This will further help you make a daily to-do list. No, say 10 pages daily or 5 pages daily, something like that. So this is a to-do list will help. It is a very powerful tool. You can use color codings, highlights, tick marks. There are digital calendars that can help track your deadlines. So it basically it keeps you on the track. It helps you decide what not to do. But see, you have to remember that a long list can create anxiety. You always look at the list and think, I have so much to do in the entire time, and you won't even do a single thing. So you need to prioritize tasks, and you do not just need to record it. You need to prioritize which is to be done first thing today. Or these 5 things are the most important thing that I have to complete by today. So this is an example of the to-do list with color coding and things. How to organize your day. Now, you should organize your day around the priorities, the as per the Eisenhower matrix, or the RAC method, whatever you find important task in your day. You need to plan your day as per your priorities, and at the same time your energy levels. You need to include the essentials like sleep, meals, work, all these things, along with you need to work in focused intervals to maintain efficiency. Say you can take 40 to 50 minutes chunk or blocks for focused work, say study or learning a new skill or something. So this you should include variety of things, multiple subject, multiple things in a day, 2 or 3 subjects in a day, to avoid the fatigue or boredom. So you need to mix up the task. So your day should not be, a random sequence. It should be a structured system. You need to decide when to do a task based on your energy levels. When you feel most energetic, you can complete this task that you're running from. So you need to understand your body. You need to understand your energy levels. You need to understand your time. When can you devote your energetic time to which task? Right? And that is how you should plan. Now, once you have done it, you have made a calendar, made a to-do list, you should follow it for 1 week and review after 1 week. Ask yourself, did you complete the tasks, or where did you fall short? Did you rush anything? If you won't evaluate, no, you won't. You will repeat the same inefficiency. So you need to reflect on your week, as it allows you to identify the patterns, correct your mistakes, refining your approach. Because the improvement doesn't happen or doesn't come from working more. It comes from working smarter each week. You need to eliminate your mistakes every week. So evaluate your week every time for 2, 3, 5 weeks, unless you find you are most productive. Right? You have to do it constantly on ad hoc basis. Now, at the end, I would like to close it by saying that time management is not about controlling the clock, it is about controlling your choices. And once you master that, productivity becomes a habit, not a struggle. So, if time management is not about doing more, it is about doing what truly matters. Because at the end of the day, your life is not measured in hours. It is in how intentionally you used those hours. Right. So that is all from my side. Thank you so much for your patience listening. I hope I'm able to make a slightest of difference in the direction of better usage of your time and efforts. And I'm open to your suggestions and questions if you have any. And I'm unable to understand your voice, Dr. Preeti.
मैम आज जो आपके द्वारा प्रेजेंटेशन दिया गया है पाकिस्तान में, तो उस पे मैं आपका प्रिंसिपल सर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की तरफ से आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपके द्वारा जो अगर आप जो भी डिस्कस किए गए हैं स्टूडेंट के लिए बहुत ही अच्छे हैं।
थैंक यू।
आपने देखी तो
जी
जो
जी
बताया
हाँ,
इतना very effective and बताया कई मेथड्स आपने बताया बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है और अभी टाइम किसी भी समय और कहीं भी यूज किया जा सकता है और फॉर स्टूडेंट
जी जी
कई कंपनी में यूज कर सकते हैं और घर में भी टाइम के साथ कैसे करते हैं तो आपका बहुत ही
थैंक यू।
बहुत इज्जत और आपने लास्ट में आपने कहा कि टाइम कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते नॉट कंट्रोल बट वी कैन मैनेज
जी जी
कोई ऐसी किन्हीं का माइक नहीं आपकी बात करें
जी डॉक्टर साना जी
Yeah, if you can just mute yourself, I think the voice will be audible because I'm getting too many voices for you.
आवाज कहाँ से आ रही है
Good evening, Preeti ma'am, BETKAR sir, and good evening, ma'am. Wonderful presentation you have made. And of course, the time management. Many people talks about time management, but how this time is absorbed and how this time is lost. No one wants to talk about this. So I think you have at the right track. So wonderfully presented the topic and very well explained also. And if you think about the distractions, the childhood distractions are different, adolescence distractions are different, adulthood distractions are different. Even as per the job, you'll find that teachers' distractions will be different, farmers' distraction will be different, and we had to incite our own lifestyle and life, that where I'm getting distracted. So it is very difficult to pinpoint, these are the distractions. But on a large scale, definitely the social media and the screen time what we are consuming, 3 hours, I had done one paper presentation just making a survey. So on an average 3 hours, everyone is spending time for the what we can say mobile and social media. So 3 hours is a huge time. If I will consider the 3 hours, and if suppose there are 4 members or 5 members in the family, so per day we are losing 15 hours, we are losing 15 hours. And if it's a student, like in my class, if there are 100 students, if I will consider 3 into 100, so 300 hours, valuable hours we are losing. So time is money, what people says, and time never returns, time never returns. What is done, we cannot undone it again. So the time is the only line for that. So we had to be very careful about our time utilizations. The lethargy, and then the, what we can say, laziness, and then, we want to relax, and we want to be a comfortable zone. So I think that is there every time, right? But nowadays, I've seen people are, if you'll give opportunity, either you study or you relax today 1 hour, right? So what people will prefer, that is the story. So we have to be very cautious and conscious about the time. That is very correctly what you have pointed out in your presentation. And I consider, that a day, we should plan throughout the day, right? So we should have planner. If you are in an office, where if you are a teacher, as per the priority, I'm doing this in my clinic, that the priorities we keep first, and then other things can be done later on. So that is how one schedule, schedule what I go with. And then at the end of the day, I just find out what has been missed and how we can do it further well. So that is one thing. So it is a time management process. And many of the times people comes and they hijack our time also. right? Suppose one of my friend came to my consulting, and then he started discussing about, what are the new remedies for the leukemia and the blood cancer and other things. And I was lost in that conversations because the intellectual brains always want some feed to their brains, and we have lost 1.5 hours. So my work, my tendency, whatever my target were there, they have lost somewhere. So very important in meetings also, the topic, the agenda is one, and all of a sudden someone plays some other topic, and the whole community, start discussing the same thing, and they hijack the meeting. Right? So time management is wonderful what you said. I also do one more important thing is, the day work, weekly work, 15 days work, 3 months work, 6 months works, and 12 months work. So we can have that list with us. So it becomes very easy for managing the timings and everything. Definitely, the time never permits anyone. Our seminar time is also getting over here. So I will not use much time. I could see Dr. BETKAR sir is there. So with this, small things, I just restrict. But one question I want to ask, now who will find out, what kind of distractions are there for children, then for adolescents, and even we are searching them, right, whether they will follow it or no, right? If we are finding out distractions for others, right, I don't know how many people will follow. That is my question. Thank you. The presentation was excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your suggestions. Also, yes, you're on point that all these distractions are different for everyone, for every age, for every profession. The distractions are different. So it is. None of these are actually bad. As I told, it is about the uncontrolled, access to things. So if talking to friends, talking to family, nothing is bad. It is just the uncontrollable, giving the entire time to them that creates the problem. So a quick 5 minutes or taking a break for 30 minutes is not bad. It is about if that 30 minutes turn to 3 hours, that becomes, a problem.
Yes, definitely. In the classroom, why you are not there speaking. And then that every girl burst out, my mother was sick, and she was admitted in the hospital. Now I cannot say this is my class hours, my 60 minutes are there. You are disturbing my 60 minutes. We'll discuss it later on. We cannot so go, so harsh and hard also. So that is also one very important aspect we have to consider. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
कोई और पार्टिसिपेंट अगर मैम से क्वेश्चन आज से टॉपिक से रिलेटेड करना चाहते हैं तो वो कर सकते हैं। मैम मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है आपसे।
यस मैम।
स्टूडेंट के लिए अभी मतलब प्रेजेंट का तो ये कोई अपने माइक को ऑन कर दिए तो ऑफ कर दीजिए प्लीज। वो मतलब कोई भी कॉलेज में जैसे बच्चे अभी एज सर्किल जो है एडोलेसेंट एज का है, जैसे 18 से 22 का हम लोग लेते हैं, तो जो भी बच्चे आते हैं क्लास में तो उसमें बहुत ज्यादा डेविएशन कहिए या डिस्ट्रक्शन उसका माइंड में बहुत ज्यादा, अगर पॉजिटिवली भी उसको ट्रीट किया जाए तो वो 2 दिन अच्छा रहता है, फिर उसके बाद उसमें मतलब क्या डेविएशन होता है वो इफेक्टेड या सोशल मीडिया कह सकते हैं या फिर प्रेजेंट सिनेरियो से उसमें क्या चेंजेज आता है या फिर फ्रेंड सर्किल से, तो उससे देख रहे हैं कि मतलब मेरे साथ खुद 1-2 स्टूडेंट ऐसा था जो मतलब बहुत अच्छे से वो ट्रैक चल रहा था, अचानक से उसमें ऐसा चेंज 10 दिन में हो गया कि वो क्लास आना ही बंद कर दिया। मतलब इस तरह का मतलब क्रिएटिविटी से मतलब बहुत ज्यादा चैलेंजिंग हो जाता है मैम, तो ऐसे में कैसे उसको हैंडल करेंगे मैम आपके अनुसार अपना ओपिनियन देंगे मैम।
जी मैम, ऐसे वैसे तो मैं ऐसे कहूँ तो हम जैसे हर जगह पे ये जो प्रॉब्लम आपने बताई ना, ये बहुत जेनेरिक इशू है। सिर्फ आपके कॉलेज में या आपके एज ग्रुप वाले बच्चों के साथ नहीं, ये अक्रॉस दी सिटीज, अक्रॉस दी नेशन ये प्रॉब्लम देखने को मिल रहा है। जब भी हम कुछ टीचर्स अलग अलग जगह के साथ में बैठते हैं तो ये सिमिलर प्रॉब्लम्स ही निकल कर आते हैं। सो मोर अबाउट द टाइम, इट इज अबाउट दी प्रॉब्लम इज एट देयर इमोशनल लेवल, देयर साइकोलॉजिकल लेवल, ये प्रॉब्लम वहां पर आ रहा है ज्यादा। तो ऑफ कोर्स अवेयरनेस है, सही गाइडेंस ही है जिससे हम उनको ठीक रास्ते पर ला सकते हैं। तो वो ठीक गाइडेंस के लिए भी उनके अंदर एक्सेप्टेंस होना जरूरी है कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है या हम कुछ ठीक नहीं कर रहे हैं। एक वो एक्सेप्टेंस पहले तो उनके अंदर लेकर आना जरूरी है, जो हमें पॉजिटिवली उनको समझाने या गाइड करने से ही मिल सकता है। क्योंकि आजकल की जो जनरेशन है, जो जेन जी जिनकी हम बात कर रहे हैं, या जो जेन अल्फा आने वाली जनरेशन है, वो डांट कर या मिलेनियल्स की तरह जैसे हम लोग को ट्रीट किया गया है, वैसे उस तरह से वो नहीं, उनको हम सही रास्ते पर ला पा रहे हैं। तो उनके साथ यही एक तरीका है, उनको ज्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन देकर, ज्यादा अवेयर करा के, की कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस बताकर, बहुत ज्यादा अवेयर करा कर ही हम उनको शायद लेकर आ सकते हैं। या उनके दोस्त, काइंड ऑफ दोस्त तो एग्जैक्टली हम लोग नहीं बन पाएंगे टीचर्स, बट हाँ थोड़ा पॉजिटिवली उनको अवेयर करा कर ही हम लोग रास्ते पर लेकर आ सकते हैं, क्योंकि जो पुराने तरीके थे वो उनके साथ काम नहीं कर रहे हैं।
यस मैम, आई एग्री विथ यू। और प्रेजेंट में भी इस तरह का इमोशनल सपोर्ट बहुत ज्यादा हो गया है कि बच्चों से डायरेक्टली बात किया जाए, और इम्पैथी आजकल ज्यादा हो रहा है। सिंपैथी की जगह इम्पैथी बच्चों के साथ इस तरह का होना चाहिए कि बच्चे आपसे शेयर कर सके। बट गर्ल्स के लिए मैं पूछ सकती हूँ कि बच्चे से इंटरनली बहुत ऐसे ऐसे केसेस आते हैं जो बच्चों के उसके डिस्ट्रक्शन को मैं अच्छी तरह से कर पाती है, लेकिन बट बॉय स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मेरे लिए थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग हो जाता है मैम। तो और कोई पार्टिसिपेंट लास्टली कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं मैम से? आई थिंक सभी लोग आपके लेक्चर से बहुत ही सेटिस्फाइड हुए हैं, और बहुत बेहतरीन आपका आज का पीपीटी के माध्यम से आज का आपका वेबिनार इन ऑनलाइन बहुत ही मैम, बहुत ही आज बेनिफिटेड रहेगा सभी के लिए। और हम लोग इसको यूज भी करेंगे, अपने कॉलेज में यूज करेंगे। बहुत ही आपका आज का लेक्चर बहुत बहुत आपको प्रिंसिपल सर की तरफ से और सभी पार्टिसिपेंट की तरफ से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इन द कमिंग फ्यूचर और नए टॉपिक के साथ आपको पुनः आपको बुलाया जाए, इस तरह से मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ। थैंक यू मैम अगेन, लॉट्स ऑफ थैंक्स एंड शुक्रिया, नमस्कार। थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू एवरीवन, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू। थैंक यू सर। सभी लोग अपना फीडबैक लिंक दिया हुआ है, सभी लोग अपना आज का लिंक सबमिट कर दे ताकि सर्टिफिकेट मिल सके। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच।